What's going on, fellow Marvel fans? This is my review for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 5, titled The Truth. We're nearly at the finish line for this show, and I'm very disappointed because I've been loving every single thing about it. The character arcs, the action, the underlying themes. It's just been a really awesome show, and it's a pity that next week's episode is the finale, but I'm also excited because in this episode, they set up so much. Now, we opened the episode, of course, just after the events of last week's episode where John Walker literally killed a man in public, and it's all over social media. He's walking away, he's devastated, but then he's kind of telling himself he needed to do it. His friend was killed by the Flag Smashers, and then he's confronted by Bucky and Sam, who say, look, we don't want anyone else to get hurt. Give up the shield. And John Walker's like, no, I'm Captain America. I'm Captain America, bitch. And there's a big, awesome fight to open up this episode. Before even the title comes up on screen, the three of them go at it. It's brilliant. You got Sam and Bucky working together. Of course, John Walker is very much powerful as well because he took the serum a few episodes ago. And Sam has to be careful in what way he fights him. And there's a few times in this actual fight sequence where John Walker is trying to kill Bucky and Sam. He's going to do the exact same thing he did to the Flag Smasher guy, is just beat them with the shield and kill them. So he is too far gone. He's blinded by hate, by revenge, also by maybe the way he was treated when he was first brought to be Captain America, where Sam wasn't even listening to him, when Bucky wasn't even listening to him and stuff like that, and he was kind of laughed at, and the Wakandan women were able to beat him so easy, and stuff like that has really took a toll on him. And of course, don't forget, he used to be a military officer, a soldier, so he's already gone through a lot of shit. But that was an awesome fight sequence between the three of them, and of course, they're able to beat John Walker. He's on the ground, he can't get up anymore. Sam takes the shield, Bucky kind of puts the shield beside him. And then the title card comes up, and that was an awesome way to open the episode. But after that, the episode more or less is kind of, you're just spending time with these characters. Not that much action happens after, but it's still very compelling because the acting, the dialogue, all that kind of stuff is absolutely brilliant. Now, John Walker is in front of the government and they have taken the shield from him. Well, not the shield, literally, but they've taken the name Captain America from him. And I thought that would happen. I thought that this would be all over social media. The whole world would see this, and this would be bad PR for the American government and for Captain America. So I thought that they would relinquish him in the role, and they did. And it was a big meeting and saying, you're lucky, John Walker, that you have this great background as a soldier, or you'll be spending the rest of your life in jail, So John Walker is, he kind of tells these American government, you made me the way I am Captain America. And then they're like, you're not anymore. So that was pretty cool. So he's officially not Captain America anymore. And after that kind of hearing, he's approached by a woman called Valentine. Now, this is a character from the comics. I'm not too familiar with it. This is the cameo, of course. I think this actress was in Veeps or something like that, one of them shows. I'm not too familiar. I've seen her in a few things. But she is approaching John Walker, and, she's kind of, I can tell already that she's going to be like a villain. And the actress did an amazing job because I was actually really just into the scene because of the way she was approaching it, her acting, her piece of dialogue, the way she moved and stuff like that was absolutely brilliant from the actress. And I think she's going to use John Walker as her own toy. So I think she's going to be a villain. She probably will be. And she tells John Walker, you were right to do what you did. I would have killed the bastard too, stuff like that. So it was brilliant. What the best decision of your life is we pick up the phone when I call you, stuff like that. So John Walker very much needs motivation, and this character Val could be that motivation. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and I'm interested to see where that goes, especially in one episode left. And then we got a really emotional scene because we have Sam, and he goes and he visits Isaiah Bradley. Of course, Isaiah was given the super soldier serum back in the 40s or 50s. He fought in the Korean War, I think, and he fought for his country. He saved lives, and he did what he had to do. And then when he came home, he was experimented on for 30 years, put in jail, abused, stuff like that. So he went through a pretty bad time, and considering that Steve Rogers was in ICE around that time, the American government, instead of giving Isaiah the shield and saying you're the new Captain America, but you can't have that, can you? You can't have a black man as Captain America. And the world hasn't really changed that much either, because in episode 1, when Sam gives up the shield to the American government, I remember the guy saying, you made the right decision. And that really hit me the wrong way, And then they give it to John Walker, a white Captain America. So even when Isaiah had the super soldier serum back in the 50s, it hasn't changed to modern day because Sam was treated more or less in the same way. And I liked in episode 1 and 2 where Sam, in the suit as Falcon, was treated like a celebrity. Outside of it, he was looked down upon. The police were looking at him like, this guy is shady and stuff like that. So much hasn't changed, and that's why Isaiah has had this grudge towards the American, what America stands for so long, because of the way he was treated, and he's probably right. And then we learn in the episode when Sam is talking to him that not only was he experimented on and abused for 30 years, but his wife died. He never got to be with her. And then the American government or whoever told his wife that he was dead. So he has had a lot to deal with over the last how many years. And I think the actor did an amazing job. I actually thought that Anthony Mackie has been absolutely brilliant in this season. His acting, especially in that scene, just fantastic. And, you know, Isaiah's like, no black man with respect would want to be Captain America. And that's interesting. That is very interesting. But maybe Sam is the one who can change that viewpoint. And in the episode, of course, he goes back to his hometown, his house. He goes with his sister and her kids. And he's living there for a while. And he's kind of dealing with what to do next. Because the trail for the Flag Smashers is not there as much right now. The Flag Smashers are off trying to cement their plan. But it was a nice kind of sequence as well, because Sam is trying to save his family business and his what his family stands for, which is this boat. And they want to fix this boat so they can sell it and have money and stuff like that. So I thought it was pretty cool because Bucky shows up, he helps Sam, he helps his sister to fix the boat, and everyone in the community comes together as well. And there was a nice sequence there. Like, not much happens in the sequence, but there's nice music playing. You get to see all these characters interact, working together. I actually thought it was just really nice to see this, you know, and it was awesome. But they come to a point then where Sam and his sister don't want to sell the boat because it means it stands for what their family stands for, you know, so they want to keep that legacy there. Thought that was pretty cool. And then there was a nice kind of training kind of sequence with Sam and Bucky where they have the shield and they're throwing it against trees and catching it and stuff, but they have a heart to heart. And Sam's like, you can't heal yourself by going to people and saying you're sorry, because that's all you kind of want. You want to say sorry so it makes you feel better. You have to make the people feel better that maybe you've hurt in the past. So that gives Bucky more of a journey to go on this time. And in the episode, he leaves, he goes on a journey. He says, look, if you need me for the Flag Smashers, I'll be there. Just give me a call. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then we get a nice training montage with Sam. It was cool. I would have picked a different music choice. I would have picked something maybe a little bit more badassery, maybe a badassery score, but it was okay. And you got to see him do some push-ups, running, and throwing the shield around. And what I really liked, because I hated in the first episode, I was like, John Walker's just throwing the shield around like he's just the bee's knees and stuff like that. No bother whatsoever. And I'm thinking, like, this is a massive shield, and it's coming at you at so much speed, you wouldn't be able to catch it every time. And sometimes it would hurt to catch it and stuff like that. So I did like how Sam was training to catch the shield properly, to do different moves, fighting moves, and catch it and use it and stuff like that in battle. And there was times where he failed, he couldn't catch it, it hurt him a little bit and stuff like that. So I did like that big time. So that was a cool training montage with him. And yeah, Sam is the new Captain America. He is the Captain America. And actually, what I forgot to say was that Val character said that the American government want the shield back from John Walker, but John Walker doesn't have it, of course, because Sam and Bucky got off him. And she says it's not legally the American government property because it's in a grey area. So anybody, you can have the shield. It's not really belonging to American government. So I thought that was pretty cool that Sam now has the shield and he is the Captain America in our eyes, of course, because Steve gave him the shield, and we know Sam from all these films, so we know that he is supposed to be Captain America. And I think it's cool that he was there, he had the shield, he feels now that he is right to be the Captain America. So that was pretty cool. Now we got a small shot of Zemo back in Scovia, I think it is, looking at, I think it's his family plot or statue of his family and stuff like that, and he's there, and then Bucky's able to find him, and the two of them have a conversation, and Zemo's like, don't worry, I'm not going to kill you. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then Bucky's like, I'm relieved. But then there was actually a split moment where I thought that Bucky was going to kill Zemo. Because Zemo's like, you know, Carly, the leader of the Flag Smashers, she's not going to be stopped. You were born. You were made to be a killer, Bucky. So you have to kill her to solve all these problems. And you know, and Bucky's like, I have my own plan for this. And then Bucky has a gun. And he points the gun at Zemo's head. And I actually thought for a split second that he would kill him. But he pulls the trigger and there's nothing in it. There's no bullets in it. And then he has the bullets in his other hand and he drops them to the floor. And Zemo's like, okay. And then the women of Wakanda come. And Zemo's going to live the rest of his life in Wakanda in jail for what he did to the king, killing him and stuff. So Zemo's actually, you know, he's okay with this. He has no resentment towards Bucky. I don't think Bucky has any resentment towards him anymore. I think the two of them have made amends and they forgive each other. So I do hope that Zemo turns up again. I really like him as a character. He's been some of my favourite episodes this season, some of his scenes, his dialogue, just a fun character. So I hope they bring him back. Maybe in Black Panther 2, maybe. I don't know if that's the plan, but I would definitely want to see Zemo come back because he's been absolutely fantastic in this season. But also we see John Walker visit Battlestar Harkins, I think, his family, because his funeral's going on, and that was a very emotional scene as well. But what I liked about it was it puts you in John Walker's shoes, because he felt like he did the right thing by killing the Flag Smasher. And you know what? Maybe it would have been the right thing if it wasn't caught in camera. Even Val says this: the American government would be putting you as a hero for killing these Flag Smashers. But now that it's on camera, it looks bad. It's all over the world. They have to take it away from him. But she says there are suits trying to protect them. But John Walker, of course, thinks he did the right thing because his friend was killed. So he killed the people who killed his friend. And once you see Harkins' mother and his father and his sister, and they're so sad and they're crying over the loss of their son and their brother, it really puts into perspective that maybe John Walker did do the right thing because of what happened. You know, it's a very conflicting emotions to have. And what is the right thinking? I don't know what the right thinking is, but we'll have to see what happens in the last episode. We got a post-credit scene, of course, of John Walker making a new shield with some new kind of emblems on it, logos and stuff. So that's going to be interesting, because remember, what is the shield? If the shield's not owned by anybody, if it's not owned by the American government, what is the shield? John Walker's just going to make his own shield. So we're going to get John Walker Captain America versus Sam Captain America. Who is the real Captain America? I guess whoever the winner is. But we'll have to see how that plays out in episode 5, or episode 6. But guys, this episode was really, really good. It didn't have as much action as maybe the previous episodes, but that opening scene of action made up for it, because it was just badass. It was absolutely brilliant. I loved it. And as the episode went on, just to spend extra time with these characters, just to have it more develop in a way where you can understand and care for these characters even more is beautiful, and it's brilliant. So we'll have to see how it goes in episode 6, the last episode. I'm so sad it's the last episode. This show has been absolutely brilliant. I think it's better than WandaVision, but WandaVision was still good as well. But I think this is some of the best MCU content that they've ever produced, because of some of the teams that they've hit. You know, I see a Bradley stuff with Zemo, you know, stuff with Sam and Bucky. It's just been absolutely brilliant. Sharon Carter made an appearance in this episode as well, so the Power Broker may come in episode 6. Who's that going to be? Is it her? I don't know. Let's see how it goes. But guys, what was your thoughts on episode 5, titled Truth, from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the second last episode? I loved it. I've been loving every single episode. Since episode 1, I've said that this show has a different feel to it. It's definitely something new, and I think it's upholding that statement for myself. So let's see if they can stick the landing with episode 6, because that's important. Because WandaVision for me didn't stick the landing as good as it could have. Here, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, to make this show absolutely great, it needs to stick the landings. Let's see how that progresses. But guys, give a like, comment, subscribe. Come follow me on all the social medias, movies that matter. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You'll find me. Just search it and get in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts, and I'll find you in the next video, hopefully. I post every day, so join me for that. Guys, enjoy. Watch this episode. Badass. Can't wait for next week's episode, the finale. MCU content is getting pretty good.